What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Thought for Thursday. This is Randy with the Simple Team, and today I wanted to get into something I kind of been hearing all around for a while. Actually, people ask, is wholesaling ethical? They're not asking if it's legal or illegal. They ask if it's ethical, just the act and the thought of doing it. And I know there's mixed opinions on this, and I'm going to say my thought on that is yes, I do think wholesaling real estate is ethical for a couple of reasons. And I'll also put a side note that I think it's ethical if you do it the right way, kind of set yourself up as a professional. So I do think wholesaling real estate is ethical. Part number one is the reason of the wholesaling model in general has been around forever, for everything, not just houses, but stuff in my office here in my house or anywhere came through a wholesale process more than likely. And the way I kind of like to think of it or relate it to is kind of like a home builder. So, that home builder is going to buy supplies from a manufacturer for the house. That manufacturer is going to sell those supplies to a builder for more money than what it costs them to make. That builder is going to take those supplies and build a house and then sell it to a home buyer for more money than it costs them to make. So everyone's making profit or making money along the same process of kind of like a wholesale deal. So the three parties are all agreeing on paying the price that they're paying and receiving the money that they're getting. So we kind of relate that to a wholesale deal. Most of the time, a seller is going to reach out to a wholesaler or anyone who's willing to buy homes for cash. Um, they're going to do it because of usually a life event. Something's prompting them to reach out for a quick and easy sale to get out of their home. When a wholesaler meets with a seller, that they're probably going to negotiate on price a little bit, but at the end of the day, that seller is going to agree to sell their house. They're going to be happy with the price that they're going to be receiving. The wholesaler is going to get that contract, and they're going to mark that contract up or assign that contract for a fee that they're happy with to a buyer, uh, which is probably going to be an investor, and then that investor is going to buy that property at a price that they're going to be happy with. So it's the same thing. So the seller's happy, the wholesaler's happy, and the buyer's happy. There's no one is unhappy in that situation because everything makes sense. The only way that could go south is if a wholesaler just doesn't know their numbers. So if you don't know your numbers, then you need to work on that before you start negotiating deals, because then you're kind of making promises to the seller that you can't keep, and then you can't move a property that's not priced correctly. Um, but as long as you run your numbers, everyone in that chain is going to be happy with what they got, and everything's going to go to plan. So that's kind of point one. Point two is that while you're talking to the seller, you have to give them options, and you have to at least present them with something other than you buying their house for cash, because I think that's kind of where people have a misunderstanding of, they think wholesalers are just forcing these people out of their homes for a cheap price. And I mean, there's people out there that don't know how to do it right. But as long as you're in the meeting with the seller and you say, hey, I can buy your house for cash, no inspection, as is right now at this price. This is what it's going to look like. Or, if you're interested in getting more money for your home, you could always list it on the MLS with the realtor, maybe for $10,000 more. And there's going to be more stuff that goes along with that, like an inspection in probably real estate commissions, and all that good stuff. But if you want to get more for your house at a higher price, that's probably going to be the way to go. We could do seller financing, and kind of explain that process to them. But as long as you're giving them options, and then after that, they say, you know what, I don't want to go through all that mess. I'd rather just sell my house for cash, as is. You guys can, deal with the junk. I just want to get out of it. That's ethical. You did your job to show them what you could do, but then say, hey, if you don't want to do that, if that doesn't sound good, here's what I think you could do other than selling your home for cash, and leave it up to them. And as long as you do that, as soon as they sign a purchase agreement, there's not really anything that's going to happen. Like, a family member is not going to talk to them and say, hey, I think you're selling your home for, you know, a lot less than what I think you could sell it for on the market. And they're going to say, oh, I know, because Randy spoke with me, and we went through my options, and we agreed that this was going to be the best way for me right now because of my situation. So those two things are the reasons why I think wholesaling real estate is definitely ethical. Going into another topic of, does it need more regulation? Does the industry need some work? We can, that's a different video. Um, but as far as it being ethical, I think 100%, as long as you're doing it the right way. And that's my thought on it. So that's thought for Thursday today, and we'll see you next week.